So the Nats started winning this last week on games for Tuesday and Wednesday, but on Thursday and Friday, I think the trip was a little bit too much. Traveling ain't easy for no one, and that may have taken a toll on our guys. Aside from that, the strike and balls count was off. It was like the umpire wanted everyone to hit and finish the game early. But yes, I know every umpire is different on the way they do their count, but San Diego game's count was out of proportion. On Saturday and Sunday, our Nats look way better on the field, and the contact and the job of Scherzer on the mound was the key for the Saturday's win. Meanwhile, on Sunday's game, the Nats made history with scoring 2 runs on back-to-back home runs. Again, Kendrick, Turner, Eaton, and Rendon. How we went as deep as 421 feet into center field after being 2-2 on the count, 105 miles per hour out of its bat. Trey went 425 feet to the center field after being 1-0 count and 93.8 miles per hour out of his bat. Eaton went to center for 402 feet after 1-0 count at 99.9 miles per hour out of his bat, and Rendon went deep to right center with 391 feet on an 0-1 count again matching Eaton's speed of 99.9 miles per hour. Last time this happened was on July 17, 2017, with Brian Goodwin, Wilmer Difo, Bryce Harper, and Ryan Zimmerman, the only team to register 4 straight homers on more than one occasion. There are only a handful of teams that have done this particular achievement of back-to-back home runs, and it's really amazing that the Nats did it twice. And I'm going to be listing you the 7 teams that have done it so far. The 9 teams. Sorry. The 9 teams that have done it so far. The first one was the Braves on June 8, 1961, with Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron, Joe Adcock, and Frank Thomas in the 7th inning versus the Reds. The second one was the Indians on July 31st, 1963, with Woody Helt, Pedro Ramos, Tito Francona, and Larry Brown in the 6th inning of the Game 2 versus the Angels. Third team, the Twins, May 2nd, 1964, Tony Oliva, Bob Allison, Jimmy Hall, and Harmon Killebrew in the 11th inning versus the Athletics. Fourth team, the Dodgers, September 18, 2006, Jeff Kent, J.D. Drew, Russell Martin, and Marlon Anderson in the 9th inning versus the Padres. 15. The Red Sox, April 22, 2007. Manny Ramirez, J.D. Drew, Michael Lovell, and Jason Varitek in the 3rd inning versus the Yankees. Going to be really honest, everything that is against the Yankees, for me, is a win. I don't like the Yankees at all. I'm sorry I'm doing this rant on the National podcast, but it had to be done, it had to be said, and it was said. 1 point. 16. The White Sox, August 14, 2008, and that will be Jim Thorne, Paul Cornerco, Alexei Ramirez, and Juan Uribe in the 6th inning versus the Royals. 17 was the Diamondbacks on August 11, 2010. Adam LaRoche, Miguel Montero, Mark Reynolds, and Stephen Drew in the 4th inning versus the Milwaukee Brewers. And going to the 8th and 9th spot, that will be the Nationals, July 27, 2017, as I said, Brian Goodwin, Wilmer Difo, Bryce Harper, and Ryan Zimmerman in the 4th inning with the Milwaukee Brewers. And the newly added record, the Nationals on June 9, 2019, Howie Kendrick, Trey Turner, Adam Eaton, and Anthony Rendon in the 8th inning versus the San Diego Padres. That was awesome. This team may not have won a World Series title, but they sure can break and set the records. So the potential they do have it to make it big in the majors and the World Series too. Now you guys head to my social networking sites and tell me which other players you think might be the Nets in line to complete another back-to-back for the Nationals. My Instagram and Twitter again is Maria Rivera LDH. MariaRivera LDH. Maria Rivera LDH. And my Facebook is Maria Rivera, as they say in Spanish in Major League Baseball, hashtag ponle acento. So go on my social networking sites and tell me, who do you think will be the Nets players to complete another back for the Nationals? Just go to my social networking sites below and tell me. I want to be reading your opinions. Okay, so taking in account this magnificent news, why don't we discuss which Nationals are going to the All-Star game? Remember, it's around the corner, so vote now, but with stats and not with fanatic hat. Like, air quote, fanatic hat. If you don't like anything of what we're going to be saying here, you have two choices. Change the channel or go to my social networking sites and state your opinions, because I will be very much pleased to hear your opinions and to read your comments. So without further ado, let's go. Let's start. Okay, so the first baseman for the National League is Rajan Zimmerman, running 4. But as much as I am a fan of this awesome defensive player and overall average batter with 213, he's running for an All-Star game, but the truth is Zimmerman is still injured and he hasn't played ever since, so for this season, I don't think he might land the All-Star game, but a good first baseman to replace Zimmerman is Anthony Rizzo with a batting average of .281. So think it well. For them, think it well, and I'm going to be really honest. I know that this is a Nationals podcast, but I am telling you this to vote with stats and not with your head. So because Zimmerman didn't play that much, he doesn't have the numbers to be on the first base of the All-Star game. So I'm telling you, just think it well and maybe choose Anthony Rizzo, or you can choose Zimmerman because it's a national and you can do that. But we'll be falling again into voting because we're fans and not because of numbers. So yeah, sorry. Anyways. For the American League, my pick will be Julieski Gurriel. So, again, pick well and we'll see if our Nationals land something. Second baseman, Brian Dozier. The perfect candidate above all in the close competition with Enrique Quique Hernandez. And this player might be really hard. This pick might be really hard, but you can vote for both as many times as you want. So, just keep in mind that Kike with left-handed pitchers is not so good. It's not such of a good hitter, but Dozier does the job really well. So pick carefully and pick Dozier for second baseman in the All-Star game. And for the American League, my pick is Profar. So pick well. For the third baseman, my pick, and forever will, ever since I have been seeing him play, my pick is Anthony Rendon. There is no doubt that Rendon must enter the All-Star game this year. He has had 3,064 with an average of .287 and 14 jonrones, 463 RBIs overall in his Major League Baseball career. And it is a shame that he wasn't picked earlier so for the All-Star game. And I'm actually, in the words of Martinez, please guys, just vote for Anthony Rendon because he really deserves a place in the All-Star game. Just because the Nationals don't get that much coverage doesn't mean that their players do not deserve to be in the All-Star game. So guys, just go to the voting ballot and pick Anthony Rendon because there's no doubt in anyone's mind that he deserves that place. So for the shortstop, that will be Trey Turner or Javi Baez. These two have very similar defense and they are very explosive in his turns, so the decision is very hard. But if it was me, I will vote for not, why not? But still, vote Turner because Javi Baez has his fair share of All-Star games, while Turner not so much. So vote Trey, and yeah, you can vote as many times as you want, and just give Turner the play that he deserves. So from the American League, my picks are Carlos Correa, Francisco Lindor, and Sander Bogaerts. So choose wisely. So for the catcher, the reception, that will be Jan Gomez. And he's a fairly decent in the reception with a few hits here and there, which makes him come to a close with Yadier Molina. So pick wisely into who you vote. Because Jan Gomez is really coming into what is the game. So I think he does deserve an opportunity in the All-Star games. Aside from that, he's Brazilian, and having him in the All-Star game will be very much for bringing more Latinos into the Major League franchise, especially more how do you say, more South Americans in the league. So having that will be big for Brazilians. So choose wisely. Outfielders, that will be Eaton, Robles, and Soto. Our go-to guys, especially after the Nationals last games. They go to the batting average, and their defense saves most pitchers misses, so your votes must go to these guys. No questions asked. I don't want to hear anything about it. Just go to Eaton, Robles, and Soto on the ballot and vote for them. They deserve to be in the All-Star game, so go vote for them. And then from the American League, my picks are Eddie Rosario, George Springer, and Mike Trout. And because I didn't say who were my picks for catcher in the American League, those will be Vasquez from Boston, Bebo Perez from Cleveland, and Machete Maldonado from Kansas Royals. That will be my picks for the American League in the catcher, and then my picks for outfielders in the catchers will be Eddie Rosario, George Springer, and Mike Trout. So, the designated hitter, just because the National League doesn't have a designated hitter position, I'm going to be talking about the American League position, and that will be Julio Daniel Martinez, JD Martinez, or as I like to call him, Juan Daniel Martinez, because Juan Daniel sounds really a handsome name. So JD Martinez, he just proved himself that he's capable of this position. So with a batting average of 296, that would be enough for him to get into the All-Star game. And I'm pretty sure that his votes are going to be coming a long way. In a close second is Shohei Ohtani, though he was injured for a while, so his numbers might not be enough for this All-Star game, but I'm pretty